What's up? You know what time it is. It's time for the best 120 minutes of your day. The Chop Shop, the nation's #1 urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatter, alongside Jim Hicks, coming to you live from Houston, Texas. But we're broadcasting all over the entire world via Facebook Live and YouTube Live. It's a great Tuesday. We got a special guest coming on today. As everybody know, the godfather of the Houston basketball, John Lucas. I said James Harden. John Lucas will be in the building a little bit later. We got a great thing. Let me say something. Let me shout out first to a starting five. My starting five is the people that I affectionately name because they are the first 5 people to sign into the feed today. They are number one. Who we got? Rod Wells. We got Todd Holmes, Brandy Nickerson, Sonia Billingsley, Kim Jackson in the building, and our sixth person of the day, sixth man, us Derek Johnson, all the way on the other side of the pond in Germany. What's up, Derek? What's up, everybody? Let me see who else is signed in here. What's up, Daryl Barnes, Daryl Anderson, Troy Callahan, Alex Castero, Dr. John Newsom in the building. Let me tell y'all something. If you watch this show, hey, Trina, I didn't see you, baby. Hey, Trina, Jay Miles, one of the best piano players and musical directors in the music business. And it's unbelievable. Hey, hold up. And guess what? He get it from his mama. His mama, she came down and sung for us one time and blew it away. Shout out to Jay Miles on the feed. What's up, Eric Raspberry? I can't wait till the season start. I'm going to get around to try to see everybody's son. So Robert Hatter can put his eye on everybody's son, uncle, cousin. But y'all, so y'all know I'm an avid golfer. If you know anything about that background behind me, just give you, that's Magnolia Lane. That's when you drive into the Masters Golf Tournament. This is the street. If you look, it's a nice little narrow street. That's how you drive up to the Masters. The Masters start on Thursday. You know, if you're an avid golfer, I was blessed enough to be out and on this golf course before, and in a tournament, and played one round before. And let me tell you something. Everybody can't say that. I got lucky. Believe you me, I was with somebody else. I was the +1. So let's get that straight. But great event. I love it. That's how I got introduced to the game. Fred Couples, a former U of H alumni, played golf at U of H. He won the Masters that year, and I fell in love with the game when I saw him, how he played with ease. I went to a retreat with my church, a men's retreat, and the guys had some golf clubs. I picked up a golf club, and the rest is history. And but I did want to share some Masters history with y'all because it is history. Lee Elder is now 86 years old. Look him up, Lee Elder. Elder, the first African American to play at the Masters in 1995. He will join Jack Nicklaus and Gary Player on the first tee for the honorary start of the 85th Masters. This honor usually be bestowed to Arnold Palmer, Jack Nicklaus, and Gary Player. Y'all look up these names. I'm telling y'all, it's some unique names. I'm talking about not these, but later. So they replaced Arnold Palmer passed away, so they replaced him with Lee Elder, the first black player to play in the Masters. The Masters has but I didn't realize this, y'all. That is Muty. The Masters got a long-standing relationship with Payne College. Payne College is a HBCU in Augusta. I did not know this. I've been down a million times and did not know this. The college is now the recipient of the Lee Elder Scholarship. So every year, Payne College in Augusta, Georgia, they're gonna give a scholarship annually to a male and female golfer. And guess what, y'all? Hey, Tyandra, the Augusta National Club the Augusta National Club it will fund this year. They will fund the creation of a women's golf program at Payne College. Look up Payne College for me, and y'all tell me a little bit about it. I got a little bit for you. Payne College was founded in, I think, 1882, a few miles from Augusta National. But this what got me, y'all, and I'm gonna bring Jimmy in. Jimmy, you might need to come up a little bit. Yeah, you way down in the screen. This what got me, y'all. This past year, I was watching the U.S. Amateurs. That's where all the young golfers play, and there were no African Americans in the field, and very little participation at the college level. And we need to create an access to the developmental stages. In golf, you got to do this early in your life. And guess what I found out? We got some people that's helping with this. Samuel, it's Puryear, who just took over the both programs at Howard University. He gonna spearhead an initiative that introduce our kids to the game of golf earlier. The reason I say this, y'all, just being a golfer, it was more African Americans playing golf back in the 70s and 80s on the golf tour. We had Jim Dent, look that name up. Jim Thorpe, look that name up. Jim Thorpe also had a brother. And then in the late Calvin Pete, who I got a chance to meet at church one time. When I think about Lee Elder, though, y'all, this guy we're talking about, Jimmy, I think about a quote from Booker T. Washington. If you're not familiar, he was a man who started his life out as a slave, but he ended up as a famous educator, and he was also an author and an advisor to several presidents. That Booker T. Washington, who was in his autobiography for Jimmy in 1901, he said this. He said, success is not measured so much by the position that you achieve in life as it is the obstacles you overcome in trying to succeed. That was one of his favorite quotes, Booker T. Washington. But let me tell you about some of the obstacles that Lee Elder had. His father died while fighting World War II in Germany. His mother died 3 months later. He was bounced around from desperate place to desperate place before he ended up with his auntie in Los Angeles, where he found golf that provided an avenue for him to do a little bit, but mostly in golf for a black person, the avenues were closed, because you had to fight against all odds. You had to fight against bigotry, prejudice, death threats, hate mail. But he succeeded, and he did it with great class. Look his name up, Lee Elder. Don't forget. Then Charlie Sifford, who is one of the guys, I read his book From Kiver to Kiver called Just Let Me Play. Unbelievable book. He should have been invited to the Masters. They didn't want him in the Masters because he was a little rough. He talked too much stuff. They didn't want him. And I want you to look up this guy, Teddy Rhodes, who they tell me was one of the best golfers ever. And I think he's from Nashville, close to my hometown. And a guy named Bill Spiller. And I'm just giving you history, this black history. They were good enough, but they couldn't play. But the reason I told y'all all of that, because I want to round it home. Tiger said that Charlie Sifford paved the way for him. He said his dad might have not taken, Tiger Woods' dad might have not taken up the game if it wasn't for Charlie Sifford. And if Tiger's dad didn't take up the game, maybe he didn't introduce the game, Tiger wouldn't have never taken up the game. Matter of fact, Tiger's little son, if y'all go look it up, his name is Charlie. He named his son after Charlie Sifford. That's Black History Today. We got Black History coming on the show today. And but don't forget, look up Payne College. And I gave you those names. Go back and look at them a little bit later. These are pioneers. Just Let Me Play. Go get that book. It's just not a book about golf. It's a great, let me tell you something, Jimmy. Charlie Sifford said they were so mad at him. It was so prejudiced in golf. Jimmy, they made him, he teed off first in a golf tournament, right? So When he got to the first hole, you know how you pull the flag out to knock the ball in. You had to pull it. Jimmy, it was human feces inside of the cup. Somebody had did the number 2 inside the cup just because they knew a black man was playing on that hole. I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, it's just a great story. Y'all need to go. It's called "Just Let Me Play" by Charlie Sifford. Jimmy, I know we got a special guest coming on, and I know you wanted to ask a few questions about answer a few questions about summer basketball and grassroots basketball. But I just wanted to give some. Sometimes I learn today. So when I learn some, I learn some. I got to pass it on because somebody out there might love this information and pass it on to their kids. What you got, Jim?
Oh man, it's gonna be a great day. What's going on out there, guys? In the boom boom room. Of course, if you're a first time viewer to the Chop Shop, we welcome you. It's not your ordinary type of sports talk show. This is indeed your best 120 minutes of your day. We're gonna roll right through this thing. Got guests today, guests tomorrow, guests on Thursday, wrap up the week, and of course we're going to get this thing popping today. But first, I invited you guys. We ended yesterday's show, and some people had some very good questions on the table, and about grassroots recruiting,
high school,
amateur sports. And so you guys, we invite you to bring those questions back if you're watching right now. Yeah. I see a lot of our folks are beamed right in, but if you would share the show right now. Let's share the show to your timelines, to your friends right now. Let's get that out the way for this hour. Let's get the share in, because there's a lot of people who have not become abreast of our new Facebook page. You guys on YouTube, give us a thumbs up button. Hit the thumbs up. I've done it myself just now. Give us a thumbs up and let us know what's going on. I see you out there. Martin Vaughn, Darryl Barnes, John Newsom. I see you. Little Rick Timms. I see you over there.
Clifton Rogers, Jimmy. My barber. Clifton Rogers on there. Yeah.
What's going on? He comes up in there with memes and everything and logos. And
he a bad man.
Music in there. Like, and when he comes on, I see Stacey Houston from up in DFW.
Yes.
There, and I see him and Jonas up in there. Corey Willis, Thaddeus Moody from Chicago, Illinois. Chi-Town up in that house. Yeah. Eric Raspberry up in there. Shout out. What's going on, Mr. Raspberry? And he says scrimmage tonight for Cy Ranch, play Friendswood, Willow Ridge, and George Ranch. 40-minute running clocks. Let's get it. Now, this is one of the things I'm curious about. And I've contacted some coaches earlier this morning. And this is very important because there are no set of consistent rules regarding the pandemic and spectators for as we proceed into the high school basketball season. And as you guys, you didn't know, Texas is set to start the regular season for public schools on this Friday. This Friday is the first official day of the season.
But you said no rules, but I thought they got different, huh?
Yeah, they got no consistent rules. And so, and here's the thing. Here's what's important. Because a lot of people have been grown accustomed to going online, looking at the schedule for certain games. Even on our website, rcssports.com, we have historically posted games to see going into each evening around the greater Houston area. Well, here's the deal. If they're, say, for example, in Houston Independent School District, they informed all schools that non-district games, no spectators will be allowed on HISD at their schools. So Jack Yates is set to open the season this Saturday, right? They would have been playing in the season opener at the Campbell Center, which we dissolved for this year due to the pandemic. So a lot of those teams had to play on their own. And Jack Yates' opponent, they kept their opponent from the season opener, and they are playing Crosby. That game had to be moved away from Jack Yates High School because no fans would be allowed, right? Crosby, unpredictably, have been going through a little bit of stuff during the pandemic themselves. So they couldn't move it there. Yates decided to move it and got the approval from the administration to move it to Delmar. So fans will be allowed at that game. So then it could be confusing because some people say, well, hell, Yates got to have fans. Well, no, Delmar hosts that. And there's enough when you apply the restrictions that, and you understand only a limited amount of fans will be admitted. Delmar holds 5,000 people. So I'm assuming they would let, 2,000 in maybe. That's be a good crowd. That's about what it's going to pull anyway. So, but however, schools that Bel Air has a home game. Will fans, they play Terry High School. Will fans be allowed there? You know, that's the thing. So it's not, you don't know. And what do you look on the schedule and say, oh man, it's a good game. I live over this way. Let me go check this game out. You get in your car, drive up to the thing, and they have rules that restrict you, a non-relatives, from attending. And fans, well, the community deserves to know taxpayer dollars is what operates these facilities in the first place. So if you are a parent or a coach who's watching the games, feel free to post the restrictions as you know, not if you only the factuals that you know about your upcoming games or the house rules that will be implied at your particular facility. That's all I'm asking you to do, because it's really important, man, to waste time to think about going here or there, and they only gonna have, like we mentioned, we had Ronnie Courtney on the other week, and he told us Thurgood Marshall is only going to allow 65 fans in Thurgood Marshall's home games. 65. And of course, thanks, Mr. Raspberry just put one up from over in the Cypress district that he's familiar with, and 4 tickets per player max. Right? We'll put it up back up for Halifax once again. For some of the folks might need to get their magnifying.
And what school is this? What school is this?
And that is, I think, Cy Ranch.
Okay.
Right? Mm-hmm. And 4 tickets max, and only 160 people allowed in the gym total. Parents are given passes that are laminated and will use those all season for home games and road games, assuming most parents will be getting these passes. That's smart for the laminated for the parent.
Awesome.
But at the same time, a parent, one of them parents gonna give it away to their sister or their brother.
Oh, it don't matter. It don't matter. I mean, they just got them. I mean, it don't matter. Let somebody use them. Somebody got to go see the kid. Yeah, that don't matter who they give them to. I mean, it's just they got them. At least they got them.
And Tiffany Sanders says Klein Forest scrimmage Cy Ranch this past Saturday, and spectators could not attend, and they cannot attend the scrimmage against Atascocita tomorrow. Guys, put it like this: this is what we're living in now. This is and regardless, remember the sacrifice that comes with it. We just voted in a new president elect. You could rest assured he's already produced his first call to action. Is publishing his team to help with the pandemic.
Yeah, pandemic task force.
Guys, let me tell you something. Don't be surprised come January to the end of January if they don't shut everything down again. Yeah, that's why a lot of schools are already positioning themselves just this morning, Adam.
I'm not sure they're going to shut it down, but just going to be some restrictions.
Don't be surprised, because what better way to crack the whip? Remember, his thing is lean on science, not on idiots.
Yeah.
So if you're leaning on science and the scientists are saying, hey, man, this is what we need to do.
Yeah, but we don't know what the science is going to tell it. And one of those scientists, Jimmy, happened to be Dr. Marcella Nunez Smith, world expert on promoted health equity for marginalized populations. Guess what, Jimmy? She happened to be a Black woman, one of the top at her field. Unbelievable. I should have announced that on Women Rock Wednesday, but I wanted to tell y'all about her today. She's what they call it, an epidemiologist. Her name is Dr. Marcella Nunez Smith. So look her up. She's one of the best. I think she's at Yale. I think she's at Yale. She's at Yale. So I just wanted to know we got a sister in there looking over that thing. So I just wanted to let people who, in case you didn't know, now you know. So now, Jim, so you thinking they're gonna shut it down? I think they just gonna. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't think so either. But I'm saying, Jimmy, don't be surprised.
Don't be surprised.
Don't be surprised if one of his moves is to make an example out of certain areas that are at high risk by the time mid-January comes around.
Jimmy, I don't think I promise you, me just watching it because he got Kamala there, I don't think they're gonna try to make one up this situation. I think they're gonna try to find the best situation to keep us from dying. If that's what it is, then that's what it is. I'm not thinking they're gonna go and try to one up that piece of work that we've had in this that piece of work we've had in office for a while. I'm just me, just coming from some people that I know the people that might be in his cabinet. I don't think he's going to try to one up the previous regime. They are concerned about these people dying, man, and they trying to. You got to realize, Jimmy, Obama and Biden had gave the playbook to the White House, a pandemic playbook, and Donald Trump said, "I don't want to have nothing to do with nothing they do. I don't want to listen to it." So, and that's all that happened. Now we'll see what the pandemic playbook was, because I think Biden going to implement some of those same things. So let's take a look at it. And I don't want to give people anxiety. You're going to close it down. They're going to close it down. They may, but like Jimmy said, be prepared in case they say. Just be prepared just in case. Just be prepared.
Yeah. I mean, and just on cue this morning, the Duke Blue Devils announced that no fans will be in Cameron Indoor Stadium.
Nada.
So once again, Cameron Indoor Stadium, no fans for men's or women's basketball.
And Jimmy, them kids at Notre Dame I mentioned the other day, if that happen again, they gonna hold up their registration. They ain't gonna be able to register for the next semester. If that he went down hard on them. You know how they hold up your books, Jimmy. You hold up, you can't register because you hadn't paid some. Notre Dame's president said that's not gonna happen again. If it happened, you won't be able to come back to Notre Dame. So they acted on that immediately and harshly. So I just wanted to share that with you too. But back to high school basketball.
Remember, they're being consistent because they hadn't allowed no fans at football games. And like I say, it's inconsistencies, and because everybody each is own from state to state, county to county, school to school. Well, for Duke to make that decision on basketball in one of the most coveted, historic facilities in the world when it comes to basketball.
Can I also add something, Jim? A super spreader. Jimmy, you ever been to Cameron?
Yes,
y'all, it's little. It looks big on TV. It's small.
Yeah, I mean it's a gym, but it seats more than what it looks like.
9,000 people, Jimmy. I've been in there, Jimmy.
It don't look like it seat that many.
It's crazy, man. You on benches. You ain't got no chairs. You on them wooden benches. But up at the top, the older people be in the chairs. But yeah, man, it's a super spreader. And Jimmy, they used to have to camp outside to get tickets to it. So all of that's gonna be cut out. That's crazy.
that's the deal on college basketball. And of course, a lot of the schedules are being released for a lot of conferences. I think ACC released theirs, if I'm not mistaken, and they're going to, and a lot of conferences are going to the back-to-back method. But ACC did not put any buffer for the cancellation of games in the middle of the season. They left a little small window at the very end of the regular season for them to make up games. But at that point, that's iffy. Because what if it's a game that doesn't have any magnitude or meaning, then they won't play it. You see what I'm saying? If it's number 7, if the 12th seed was playing the 11th seed in that game, they won't play it. So that's something to really, really understand what's going on in our communities. Now, Daryl Barnes, do you have your question for me again that you had yesterday? I think it was Barnes or somebody had posted a question. Let's get into these questions, because coming up at the top of the hour, we're going to be joined by Coach John Lucas.
Yes, sir.
So get all your questions ready for Coach Lucas. That way you can help educate yourself and don't hold back on your questions. And you need to be educated on some stuff, on certain things, because a lot of people have went around and made it an effort to reprogram folk into thinking that certain things go certain ways in the realm of amateur basketball as well as the pro, but we specifically the amateur sector. And so, have you got questions? Guess what? Luke is going to answer right there, and I love it because a lot of times the music sounds better coming from a different set of speakers. Shout out to Alfio, just joined us on the Facebook feed. Legacy, the School of Sports Science, will start their regular season tonight. 7 p.m. How do they found a name for their gymnasium?
What's the name of it?
The Coliseum.
I like that.
The Coliseum.
I told you how.
So the Coliseum. This will be the first game in the Coliseum.
Dude, I told you how I fell in love with that campus.
They played their home gym before, but this is the first game in the Coliseum.
Jimmy, they released their schedule. I got the schedule. Look, all of y'all, they released their schedule. Look how cool the little schedule is.
No, they got to redo that.
Why?
They got to redo that.
Oh, they have?
And I saw that schedule this morning. I mean, a couple of hours ago.
Okay.
And I let PJ Coonsnard know you got to get somebody to make an amendment on that schedule.
Okay. All right. Okay.
You understand?
Hey, man, why you always bust my bubble? I'm excited about the event name. Jimmy, I'm excited about the schedule of you. Man, they got to change it. I'm just talking about how nice it looks.
But Howard, what if your face was on there and they called you somebody else's name? On November the 25th.
Oh, okay. I got you. Okay.
That's the date.
Okay.
So you don't you don't do that. You just got to make good on that. Make good on that. Remove that one and put the rest of the one out.
I got you. Okay. I'm gonna leave that alone. All right. I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
That's how that go.
Jimmy, they had a typo. It was a typo.
If I didn't know no better, I would think somebody else did that schedule up for them and put it on there on purpose.
I got you. I like that. Okay.
But yeah, B. Scott say, can I submit questions anonymously? Yes, B. Scott. When you learn, you definitely taught us the hard way. If you want to submit a question, the email, roll that email across that form. How to chopshophtx@gmail.com is our email box. We'll go to a quick break right now, guys, and come right on back and flow this thing on through for y'all on the Chop Shop while you get your questions together. And we're going to tackle a quick topic as we get prepared for Coach John Lucas. Chop Shop.
like me aren't supposed to run for office. I grew up in the housing projects of Savannah. My mom is from Waycross. She spent her summers picking cotton and tobacco. Dad was a veteran, a small businessman, and a preacher. They taught me the value of hard work. I was first in our family to graduate from a 4-year college, earned a PhD, and was called to Martin Luther King Jr.'s pulpit as senior pastor of Ebenezer Baptist Church. I've always thought my impact doesn't stop at the church door. That's where it starts. Fighting for affordable health care, fair wages, to protect the dignity of work. This race for Senate is about who you think best represents you. If you're looking for a billionaire, I'm not your guy. But if you want someone who's been through some of the same challenges as you, I'm Raphael Warnock, and it would be my honor to serve you. That's why I approve this message.
Welcome back to the best 120 minutes of your day. The Chop Chop, the nation's #1 urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatter, alongside Jim Hicks, coming to you live from Houston, Texas, but we're broadcasting all over the world via YouTube Live and Facebook Live. And Jimmy, before we went into the break, we got questions. If people, have anybody sent a question yet? You're gonna ask some questions because we got a special guest. And Jimmy, on tomorrow, Women Rock Wednesday, we also got 2 more special guests. I got another picture of them now, Jimmy. That's Anaya Linscomb, and we got Rasheed Floyd. They were our castmates on the hit show Ready for Love, and they're gonna come on and talk about. So have your questions for them tomorrow. And we just got a week. We just got a week of stars. We just got a week of people that we just want to share with share with the world. So people out of Houston, we just gonna share them with the world. What else you got over there, Jimmy?
Yeah, I have two that I printed up, and I sent, and I'll share with you guys. And one of them is fairly long. Good grief. This one's showing more like a vent than a question. So I'm gonna put that on ice. It's about one of the top players had one of the top scorers.
Okay.
Actually, this young man led the state of Texas in scoring for 10th graders last year, believe it or not. Okay. However, the school that he played at, their level of competition was a few notches below what we are normally accustomed to seeing around Greater Houston. Well, this young man is transferred to a public school and has been denied to participate. And his father set it off on social media. So we'll share that with you later on, guys. That's too long. I want to read through it. And then another one is somebody asked about exposure and how do we know what events is good for or not for college coaches. We'll be watching our sons. How do we know which events will provide the exposure for college coaches to watch our son? That's a real tricky question, guys, because it is a way to find out, but it would be so time consuming. And you really going in there, you have to just take and lean on the integrity. And my thing is this: if there's a coach that knows about your son or daughter and that plans to watch them on a live stream, they're probably going to be in contact. You're probably going to have a hint. How about starting there, asking the coaches that you have been in contact with? Ask them, how often do they watch live streams, or what events from out of your area have they took out the time to watch in recent weeks? And this is just my honest advice. And then you would see a pattern of which coaches are actually watching some of these games versus not. Because otherwise, I could easily come and tell you guys, come on to my event and give y'all a list of coaches, and all the coaches will be subscribers. So they're gonna be they're down, they're allies. So these coaches are watching. They're gonna or they watch the event. And then how would you know? Unless you ask them, how would you know? And this thing, understand, you know what tomorrow is, Adam? Tomorrow, we're less than 24 hours away from the first day of the early signing periods for national letters of intent.
I thought you were going to say Veterans Day tomorrow.
Letter of intent day is more important. I mean, well, to a lot of people. Not Veterans Day is important. My father was a military vet in the Army, but it's the first day of signing period, and all you have to do is look around. I was looking this morning, and of the top 100, I think on ESPN, not many of the 5 stars have, not as many as normal, put it like that, have selected their school. Not as many as normal of the 5 stars. Understand? Guys, this stuff is really, 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 you can't, I just want, here's what I ask for parents. You must not let this recruiting stuff get you into a depressive state. I had a high school coach to call me today and said there's been 2 kids in their school district that's committed suicide. They purposely kept it under the wraps, the district. Suicide. That comes probably in many cases, it was stemmed from being depressed or imbalanced psychologically, or a combination of both. Well, these kids are getting depressed.
Didn't a guy named Robert Hatter, hold up, didn't a guy named Robert Hatter about a year ago give a soliloquy or months ago about how parents, I've been talking about the mental health of these young kids. Now we just got a coach got to tell you, I'm telling you.
If the pastor preaching Revelations on the first Sunday and I don't go to the last Sunday, I don't get that sermon.
Yeah.
And that's just, so a lot of times we have to keep hitting stuff on the head. So to a lot of people out there, they may be like, oh man, we talking about it. But guess what? It may be the first time.
You get, faith come by hearing. No, but I'm glad you brought it up. It's and I just we put too much pressure on these kids, man. Just my thing was just relax. And I know it's hard because guess what? We got people when they do good. You know, we talked about this yesterday. When they do good, I'm gonna talk about them. Then you got people when they do bad. Some people gonna criticize them. So y'all got to realize that all of that goes into this. So you got parents at home because you spend more time with the kid than we do. I told a lady last night, Jimmy. I said, best role you can play, mama, in this melodrama, just be his mama. Don't try to be his coach. Don't try to be his manager. Don't try to be just be his mama. That mama. I sit there and told you the story about Lewis Hamilton. He said and admitted, my daddy, it wasn't for my daddy, I wouldn't be nothing. My daddy worked 4 jobs. My daddy did this and did this and did this to get me to where I am. But when he became a man, he said, Dad, I don't want you to manage me no more. I just want you to be daddy. I just want, when me and you meet, I don't want to talk about business. I just want to hug my daddy. He picked up the phone and called Beyonce. Beyonce, how did you handle Lewis Hamilton? How did you handle getting rid of your dad as your manager? Beyonce coached him through it. So on our level down here, mama, be the mama. It's all because that baby, he gonna need you. When all of this other stuff, if something go wrong here, something go wrong, he always want to go up there and curl and get at the foot of his mama's bed and talk to mama. So that's my advice. I told Jimmy, I said it myself. I wish I had been more, made it more fun for my son. It was all business with me. And I wish I could have said, man, let me be involved in your drills. I used to just had him out there running. I wish I had got in the drills with him. Then it would have been a shared experience with him. So parents, dad, I'm just telling y'all, parents, man, we don't want to lose our babies. I know you love them. I love mine. But they got to have their mind right. Like so somebody said, man, you got to get your mind right. The kids got to have their mind right. Jimmy, you can continue. Jimmy, you touched the nerve on me right then. That's why when you touch a nerve, you know I got to talk.
And Carrie says we go to the boom boom room and we'll address some of your questions and comments about related to the topic. Carrie says, Jimmy, I hear you, but that's hard, especially when we as parents are putting pressure on these kids. Remember, my first thing was parents. I was talking to the parents. You guys got to find a way to insert some type of joy and go back and cling to the joy that you had when you first started watching your baby play the sport. It was a joy watching them play, and when they win, it was a joy during the course of that game. That was a joyful moment that you would bookmark and take a snapshot that would last a lifetime. It is a way to include joy in this. The thing is, when you let something that you really can't control guide and lead you into the darkness, into the muddiness of this, especially now we're narrowed down and talk about grassroots basketball. It leads you into this. Then you find yourself like that black boy on that movie with the what they call it when they said Get Out. What's the movie?
Yeah, it's called Get Out. The movie is Get Out.
Get Out. Remember he was going and part of the movie. He was in suspended animation. He was swimming through going through a big esophagus. And understand, you can't allow that to happen. And it's ways. When you become too emotionally invested in this stuff, and when people know what can control you they can control you by your emotions, you done. You heard what he said about your son? You see? And you don't want to take the time out to do the homework to fact check. You're going to let Fox News tell you a rumor about Joe Biden and ain't going to fact check and you're going to run with it.
Excuse me.
Think about it.
Let me have
That's what that sounds like. So it's ways, guys, understand. Kids emulate whom and what they idolize. If they see you fussing at the ref or saying the ref ain't worth a quarter, then guess what that referee gonna get a life sentence from that kid. That kid can be in the grocery store with his wife and 2 kids 20 years from now, and he'll run into that referee, and that referee wouldn't even get a how you doing. He'll say, he'll go and walk right by and might bump him and tell his wife, hey man, that sucker that wouldn't give me no calls. He hated me when I was a kid.
Boy, that's a good one. Stacey, I wish Stacey was on the show so he can expound on it. He say it's hard to be a joyful experience when parents have planned very well how their kids are going to go to college. So now this sports give them the opportunity to fix those mistakes. All the plans didn't plan, but to fix those mistakes, and it becomes stressful. Okay, I got you. But that's why I always give them a way, Jimmy. I always give them a way, not a way out. I just said, man, let's have an option, man. I just said, I mean, God gave you some gift. Let me tell you something. If you were born on this earth, young man, it's a gift that you got to give to the world. If you believe it's a power. You're just not haphazardly on this planet. So it's something that you do great. It's something, it might not be basketball, but you can own the team. Dan Gilbert can't play. Timothy Fertitta can't make a layup. It's things you can do around this thing. Don't get, I just tell like I said, man, all I can do is share with you the better experience. I just wish I had learned earlier. Clyde Smith gave me some of the best advice ever in summer basketball, especially you daddies that are hands-on and around the program. He said, man, let me tell you something. Don't you let these other people and these other families who gonna take their behind home and ain't gonna think about you. Don't you get mad at your son and you get into it with your son about these other people. He said, because those people gonna go over to their families and you gonna have a strained relationship with your son. He said, it happened to me. Parents, fathers who are very involved. Watch how you handle your, because see, when I found out with Robert, he just said, Daddy, anybody else can say it. But when you say it, it pierced through me. If somebody else said, man, you missed a shot, it's okay. But if I say it. So Jimmy, guess what I did? I learned that as positive. When he got to college, I'm going to tell you what I used to do to him, John Newsom, King Gamble. I used to go find out the other point guard who he playing against. I used to get all his accolades. And guess what I texted? Man, that dude there, man, they said this dude here, the baddest dog. This dude here. Boy, he can't stand for me to say somebody else is better than him. And guess what? He go out there and attack. That's just the way my son was wired. Daddy, he couldn't stand for me to say somebody else was better. And guess what? Oh, this dude here, you might have problems today because they've been talking about this dude. I think he good. Dude don't have a chance. So I'm just telling you, do not, I repeat, parents, I wish I could do it over again. Make it enjoyable for him. Yes, he got to be serious about it because he's spending your money. You can't have him going there playing around and fiddling and over there playing jacks and all that kind. No. I ain't talking about that. But just make it where you not so stressful. If you not stressed about it, parents, I think that's what Jimmy was saying. If you not stressed about it, he won't be stressed about it.
Absolutely.
So Jimmy, I'm sorry. I didn't mean.
I mean, this is an important topic, and I'm looking at some of the comments. You guys keep it going because this is on the parents because it rolls downhill. And as Stacey said, and I get it.
Stacey got it.
A lot of people have mapped out early on about their kid, the dream of your kid go off to college. And sports is a mean to supplement the lack of income which has been set aside.
Yeah.
To make that dream a reality. And the closer you get to the 12th grade or graduating, the more stressful it is because the kid have no idea that parent don't have the financial economic net from within your household has really not ain't tied to nothing. If you fall, you hitting the ground. And this is where a lot of the stress could come from. But then guess what? That goes right back. That's one of Yosemite Sam guns right there, guy. Look, I turn that thing right back around. You're shooting yourself because you know you're not saving. You know that you ain't saving nothing properly for them. You know as a parent. So you're saying you're going to put all or none and put all this pressure on him. And the ones that do get to the college, think about the ones that don't make it all the way through and still get that degree. You Walmart bound. You McDonald's bound.
You mean don't get the
You
degree?
Whataburger bound.
Yeah. Jimmy, but what about this, Jimmy? Let's just spend, and I'm gonna be consistent on this, parents. And I ain't saying you got to have a Rhodes Scholar, but let's be consistent in raising these grades a little bit, Jimmy. Jimmy, is scholarship money out there to play for free? I mean, he can go to school for free, Jimmy. You don't have to be a 5.0 and a 5.0, all of that. It's some, Jimmy, you had a magazine that showed people how to get scholarships monies.
Yes.
See, we keep, parents, we don't have to, it don't have to be basketball or nothing. I keep telling y'all, I would love to keep seeing my son play. But he just said, man, I'm not going overseas and I'm not going to G League. I'm going to Wall Street. He told somebody, one of these teams, I got a $500,000 education. Ain't nowhere in the world I'm going to go play for $35,000 in the G League. Not going to happen. But Jimmy, you don't have to be a brain surgeon to get scholarship money. If you didn't prepare, Stacy, you put it out there. I'm glad you did. If you didn't prepare, let's prepare them a little bit more in the classroom. Just that little extra.
You know what? You know what I really believe? I really believe something. I just thought about something. I really believe every kid ain't cut from the same cloth. I understand that. But I really believe that if some of you parents would be honest enough to sit down with some of your kids, these kids they're still kids, but some things they can comprehend better than what you want to get them credit for. I promise you that. I really believe, and I'm curious to see what you guys may think. Do you guys think that if a parent was to sit down with that kid, that student athlete, look them straight, just them, one-on-one while they eating, say, let's talk about something. And they say, what, mama? Or what, Pop? Man, I'm gonna tell you something, man. Here's what the deal was. We thought this sports, you playing this hoops, it's gonna get you through. We didn't really save for you to go to college, man. That car you got out there, we used some of that money. Them clothes you getting, all them Jordans we done bought you, man. We didn't save for you to go to college. So I'm gonna tell you like this, man. If you go and you ball out and get a scholarship or get to school a free opportunity or next to nothing, we'll be there to pay and help fill the gaps. But we won't be able to afford to put you through college, man, if you don't go out there and play. Now that pressure it's still gonna be pressure, but I think that kid will understand now, Hal. That kid will understand what he's playing for now. That kid, remember, certain kids already know that they living in the gut. Put it like this. I remember one young man from Houston. And understand, and this may be a little bit of reach from what I'm talking about, but I understand the logic is the same. And now recently we had a kid named Kendrick Davis. His mom was a single parent mom that raised Kendrick Davis. Kendrick Davis was he got it from the mud, he's from the hood, and he was playing, even when in high school, he was saying, I gotta play. And people say it, but he really meant it. If you ever been around it, I gotta play to provide a better life for my mama. I gotta get, so man, however it's coming, I gotta use this. And he told me one time when I went, well, not one time, he told me I went to his graduation party. He said, Mr. Hicks, I'm gonna graduate college. A lot of people around at the party, man, you're gonna go pro in 2 years. You're gonna be one. People really thinking you're gonna be one and done. That was, believe it, people think that. You're gonna be. He was like, Mr. Hicks, I'm gonna graduate college. You watch. He said, you watch. He knows that there was nothing saved for him. If it wasn't basketball, he'd have to go back to them streets or go deeper into them streets. A lot of people know that already.
But everybody ain't built like Kendrick Davis. Hold up. And I don't think Kendrick, I think that came within him. I don't think his parents sit down at the table and told him like that. I think that kid there.
No, but he knew.
He different, Doc. He's different.
He knew. He knew
If
that
I
it
gotta
wasn't no
motivate
kid.
you to do that, Jimmy, I guess it can work with some kids, but me sitting at the table, I'm just talking about me because I can't think for nobody else. I'm sitting at the table saying, Rob, hey man, you got to get more serious about this basketball, man, because I ain't got no money for you to go to college. It not in me then. Then, Jimmy, guess what? Then I didn't take care of my business as a dad. I can't put it on him.
Well, you know what, don't have to understand, like that same scenario that you just presented. What if you add in the classroom as well to that? It ain't just basketball.
Okay.
Understand? You got to get more serious, man. I'm going to need you to get them grades, man. We ain't, understand, the basketball going to get us there. We with you. But this is why I need you to study, man. Because now if you study, you're going to get them grades up. We talking about, now this works for the 9th or the 10th grader, because still time. Once you get to 11th grade, that GPA already set in a nutshell, and it ain't much you can do to that GPA. You don't have but 2 semesters left. But that 9th or 10th grade, that's the conversation you can have with them. Explain to them. It was fun. We want to keep this thing fun, but it's domestic business right now. It's business. But we can have fun on business trips. Hell, you've been on trips before, the basketball trips. But guess what? When you ain't playing, you go to the music, you go hang out at and go see stuff and geographical tours and stuff. I mean, you ain't go to the bowling alley with kids and Top Golf and stuff. You go and have fun on business trips. Everybody ain't Jimmy Butlerish on a business trip. But it's ways maybe I'm going over, maybe I'm stepping over the chalk.
No. You don't. Jimmy, it's not one way to get it done. I keep telling people, like B. Scott made some talking about, no, it wasn't because you got to realize, man, as a dad, maybe then we just got to be better at being dads then. I'm just saying, me looking across this table and saying that to that kid, I just couldn't. I don't care what I had or what nobody didn't have or what, because we just got to get better, man. And that's all I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to shame nobody. I know they can't save. I didn't say nobody couldn't save for their money. Listen to the whole damn conversation, Stacey Houston. You can take his, guess what? You can get him to strive to be a better student. How much do that cost, Stacey Houston? How much does it cost for you to be a better damn student? I get sick of y'all with all these damn excuses about not having this and not having that. How much did it cost you for him to be a better student? You got him running around here every day at an AAU tournament. Because there's scholarship money out there that's, Jimmy, just out there and nobody's taking. Nobody's taking it. Because guess, Jimmy, and you don't listen. You don't have to be a brain scientist. You don't have to have, no. I just don't want to keep nobody. If we keep having this kind of attitude, Jimmy, it will perpetuate itself into our next generation. And that's our job, is to leave something, Jimmy, in this generation where our next generation don't have to do it. Okay, he here. Yeah, but that's, I mean,
we go to a quick break.
We'll go to a quick break, man. Go to a quick break.
Deep breath on this, because I'm talking about, I understand. Great combo. We go to the Boomer Room, read some of this. Meanwhile, guys, we're going to prep for Coach John Lucas in just a second. We'll be right back on the Chop Shop.
My name is Laura Jane Jones, and I am so excited to be joining the staff at Future Stars of Houston Academy in the vocal department. I wanted to do this intro video to let you know a little bit about me, my experience, as well as my training and my philosophy on vocal coaching. So, first and foremost, I have been in the music business for 30 years. I have performed and traveled in 90 different countries. I have performed on the biggest arenas, stadiums, theaters in the world, not just once, multiple times. I have recorded or toured or performed with the likes of Enrique Iglesias, Joe Cocker, Aerosmith, Kelly Clarkson, Leah Michele, Tina Marie, the Black Eyed Peas, Billy Ray Cyrus, BB Winans, Peebo Bryson, Vintage Trouble, and Miles Mosley, just to name a few. I've also sung on numerous TV and movie soundtracks. I most recently sang on Bad Boys for Life. I also was the singing voice of Eva Longoria on Dora and the Lost City of Gold. I was also featured on the Letters to Juliet soundtrack, singing in Italian. And not to mention The Get Down on Netflix, When We Rise on ABC, Sex and the City 2. I sang background vocals for Jennifer Hudson and Leona Lewis. This past year, I had the opportunity to sing at the Oscars. I sang behind Cynthia Erivo, singing the theme song from the movie Harriet. I also, last year, had the opportunity to sing and perform with critically acclaimed musical director.
Welcome back to the best 120 minutes of your day. The Chop Shop, the nation's #1 urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatter, alongside Jim Hicks, coming to you live from Houston, Texas. But we're broadcasting all over the world via YouTube Live and Facebook Live. But ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to wait no longer. He's in the green room right now. And guess what? I ain't going to wait on Jimmy to introduce him like I usually do. I'm just going to pop him in the screen. John Lucas is in the building today. What's up, Coach? I introduce you to Coach Day. Coach, what's up, baby? How you doing?
How y'all doing? It's
We
good
good?
to be back with you all. Everything good?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good.
Coach, hey man, congratulations. Of course, now you want to just give you congratulations and happy belated birthday last week's. You know, Scorpios unite around this thing. We up in this thing, and you had your birthday. Not only you, but you traveled over to North Carolina and celebrated with your father, who turned 100 years old. We want to give you both flowers as while you still can smell them.
Thank you, Jimmy. You know, it was really an honor to go home to see my father celebrate. So, you know, I go all the way back to North Carolina College of Negroes before it became North Carolina Central University.
Wow.
And my last year of high school, my first year as sophomore, I was telling some people it was the first year of integration in North Carolina, 1970. And my father would have been like the principal at Yates. And the school was 90% black, 10% white. And it was tough times then. I remember going through that and seeing crosses being burnt and going through all of the things that we've gone through. So the social injustice, and my father was a big part of North Carolina Education Association of Educators that integrated the school system. So it was really good to see that. And so we had over 200 people on his Zoom call for his birthday. But, you know, 100 is 100. And I will share with you, honor your mother and fathers while you can. It's tough to see parents fighting for their independence, their life. You know, it's never true that you're a kid twice in life. And they have to help him and they help him prepare. You sometimes forget because you always think, I got time to get home. I got time to see him. I got to do this. You're chasing your dollar. Next thing you know, life is over for those that gave so much. So as you all know with your parents, and you all, I'm a little older than you all, and I know I was there with Jimmy, that it doesn't get better or worse, it get different. I still have my mother's phone number in my phone. And my dad doesn't sign any checks or anything without my mama's name on the check with him. And they were married 69 years.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
I got a funny story to tell you for kids like value. So I was living with this girl before I got married to my wife. And my mama refused to call me while she was living in my house. So for 2 years, I didn't talk to my mama. I would call, she wouldn't get on the phone. And she always said that if she's good enough to be in the house, you might as well marry her. And she used to always tell me, never leave the house without telling me, don't you be clothes grinding at the house while we gone. Parents used to have things to remember that stick with you for the rest of your life. So all we're doing is repeating something somebody told me. And it's nothing new that I learned. It's something that I've been taught all the way. And the other big thing I want to say is, with the election, Black women came through for the Democrats. And people forget sometimes that Blacks built this country, whether it was through slavery or whatever. We built this country and have worked very hard, and we always will play a role. But what is a little concerning is now that some of us Blacks who are getting financially wealthy don't want to contribute for those of us who are not in the same place they are. So we'd rather go Republican than to lose some of our wealth to help some of the rest of our committees. And it's true that both sides lie. Both sides lie.
Yeah.
But I would try to see who comes up the most on both. That's my little bit of the day. And
Yeah.
But the other thing is that the COVID has really made basketball different. I talked to a lot of parents. I haven't talked to you all. People are running around the tournaments and playing in all of these events. And you're really playing for the B team. The A teams are not playing. The A people, the scouts and people that are out there with Nike and the shoe circus, they are not out there. So when people are playing and I get everybody calls me, and I'm sure you all do, Coach, man, they tweeting about my kid. And my kid ain't getting nothing tweeted about him. He's not saying anything. What should I do? I need to get out there and get the virus or get sick and go do this. And I tell the parents, is it about you or is it about them? And I don't just know how to tell him not that I'm going to transfer schools because they're not playing in this area. But if I transfer and move, I'm playing. I said, well, when you transfer and then you're going to move again, he's going to be ineligible because the other coaches aren't going to allow him to play. So is it about basketball or is it about school? And I get it. But I'm just going to tell you, it is really hard to become an NBA pro player. And it looks easy. And it looks like it's a great life. But you got to catch your education in the process if you don't, because then you're going to really be locked out. But getting back down, they had their advertising and getting people, and I get it. People are trying to make money and do stuff for kids, and then everybody tells that their camps are like similar to mine or what I'm trying to do. What makes that different? It's different. My camps, I try to lead to something. Some other camps just lead to nothing. So if I'm going to get out here and catch the COVID, I would like for it to lead me to something that's going to have a reward to move me further ahead or to have a tweet written about somebody in a regional area. What's more important? I finally got little Bryce Griggs. I got him over there working out with some of our players in the pros right now. Because same thing I did with COVID. And this is one thing that I missed that I can't do now because of my basketball with the Rockets and stuff, to have the grassroots program I used to have. But trying to help him to develop, to understand what it's going to take to become a pro. Because in his class of 2022, those kids are going to be eligible to come out for the draft. So if you're playing against 8th graders, you're not playing to come out in the draft. You playing to be in the 9th grade. So he should be playing with older kids. And one of the things that happens now is that our older kids aren't playing against older men like in the summer league, like Lil John, TJ, and Carlos Hernos. Remember, Jim, we used to put them in the men's summer league and let them play against those men and get beat up and let them see what it was really going to be like to prepare. You can't play against other kids. Talk about you're going to go play against a 27-year-old man.
I like that, Coach. Keep going.
Yeah.
But like today he was getting dunked on. I got tickled at it because he bullies everybody else because he's so much bigger. But today he was getting bullied because he wasn't the biggest guy out there. So I really like some of that in the pickup that I watched for him, and that's one of the next goals that I want to take our basketball to, is that we have people trained to become pros, not trained to go to college. College is a stepping stone for guys that are of that level. You can't take everybody to that level, but the gift is to try to get everybody in school, and those that have special talent. And you can tell when you see special talent, they look different. It's like a pretty woman. She ain't got no makeup on. She just pretty. Then but then other people put a lot of makeup on, and then when you get home, you go, oh my God.
And Coach, now you just said something. Now, special talent look different, and I remember the late great B.J. Johnson. He used to have certain things that he used to measure talent, and as evaluator. And he was like, one time I was with him one time, he got to talk about the kid ankles and this and that, and about the ankle. Explain some of that ideology to us, and how does it relate?
I don't really like to do that, Jimmy, because people don't understand when you look at athletes, it's like looking at horses. You look at his ankles. You ever seen a thoroughbred with big ankles?
No.
You ever seen a thoroughbred knock-kneed?
No.
So when you do that, you look at it like the way they're built. You want to see where the genes come from, where the family comes from, what their waistline, how high hipped are they? Can they move their feet? What do they do? What's their wingspan? It's almost like measuring it. And so I don't like to ever tell people what you look at. But the one thing that you can do, those are all
measurables.
Things you see. Measurables, and you can see.
Okay.
But you can't measure what's inside. And that's what separates the great scouts from the other, is to be able to determine what is inside a kid. Like I was telling, I did a black coaches thing last week, and I was telling them how Lil John played with a tooth in his head for a quarter in a pickup game. He's got keloid on his head now.
Yeah, I remember that.
If you ever see Justice Winslow, he got a big scar around his neck from where he played in the summer league, and I wouldn't take him to the doctor. And what you call war wounds. That's what you let you know when you look in the mirror. This is where I came from.
Gotcha.
No basketball player look pretty like you, Jimmy. Basketball players.
Baseball players do.
Man, but John,
reflecting back on
those things. So when I go watch a player and look, I look for war wounds. Where he's got his fingers, where he sprained his fingers 4 or 5 times. And he's still out there playing. Because that means that he's not going to stay in the training room. He's going to play.
Coach, I noticed that about when Isaiah Thomas be on interviews, when he be on the shows, Isaiah Thomas fingers are crooked as, okay.
War wounds. Did you see the last dance when Michael spoke with his fingers?
Yes.
War wounds.
Yes, I got you. I like that.
Always look for people who in basketball, they have war wounds, or the ankles are real swollen. When they take off shoes, the nails are folded over the toes. And all of those are the intangibles that scouts look at in developing, and how much teaching you've got to do to develop. So nowadays, with it being so competitive, the way you're taught at a young age is critical, because now I got to see at my level how much I got to go back to fix to get you where you need to be.
And John, how you seeing the comments You know, if you look up on the screen, I wish Tavi was
You
in
can
there.
hit that. You can hit that I button on the right side, and it'll bring your comments on.
No,
To hit that, click on the
Well,
right side of the screen.
Tavi,
You'll see
Yeah,
an I.
get Tavi in
Tavi,
there. She know what I'm talking
you know, I
about.
gotta get the
I went
Tavi
over. I
up.
went over with her, so she'll understand. Cause John, they talking about. Cause Crystal Wicks just talking about Kenny Smith has some knock knees and he played. So she, so you'll be able to see.
Is Kenny an
Well, no,
exception to the rule?
That's a good point. What she's talking about.
Uh-huh.
I didn't say every answer
Ev-
was always the appropriate answer.
Right,
And
right.
everybody had that. You can find everybody that has a different. But normally in that, I mean, Kenny played what 9 years, 10
Yeah,
years,
10. Yeah.
and then, but he didn't get a max contract.
That's right.
So I'm looking when I'm defining that, I'm looking at, normally your players that are max players are 6'6", 6'7", that are so good they command double teams. Then if I got two really good players, then I've got to find role players to fit what they do well. I think if she's talking about Kenny Smith, he played with Sacramento and struggled, then came here with Akeem Olajuwon and Vernon and those, and there's a good example. Vernon Maxwell was like a perfect basketball body.
Yes. Yeah.
Michael Jordan, Tracy McGrady, Kobe Bryant,
Yes.
LeBron James has the greatest body of any basketball player I've had. Tom, they said there's a button you can push
For the comments, Tavi.
yeah. Okay. And so, that makes a big difference. So that's how when scouts look, they look at that. And then the other thing that scouts look at, college scouts now, are parents' behavior in the stands.
John, you got to say that again, John, because they gonna miss
So
that
college scouts, everybody calls it like now we're looking at free agents and people to bring in. And you gotta understand, can you play with James Harden? Can you go stand in that corner and keep your mouth shut and be happy? And he's gonna dribble 25 times without a whole lot of bullshit. If not, then let's move on. Because why should I take the MVP, who's in the MVP conversation every year, and I'm gonna bring in somebody that the guy ain't in the MVP conversation? Don't make sense. So can you handle your role? Lil John played a couple of years, and Lil John wasn't gonna go in the coach's office. Wasn't gonna be asking about when I'm gonna play. I told him, man, shut up, put a shirt down, use proper English, be quiet, and be the first guy. And I used to do like this. He said, well, what that mean, Dad? Throw the towels to the guys when they come up. And be good for them and be excited that they're there. They pay you $1 million to be happy.
Yeah.
Be happy.
Yeah. That's crazy, man.
Coach, we were talking.
Go on.
We were talking earlier about, you mentioned be happy, and earlier one of the topics of emphasis was about depression among student athletes. Is the game, is it supposed to be fun? What in your ideology, what is it supposed to be for that player who's a prospect? What is it supposed to be for that player who's that 5-star? Is it supposed to be fun, or is it supposed to be business? Is it supposed to be excruciating for that parent, that PGW out there? Because it's ways to explain your thoughts, or just share your thoughts with the way that people should tread some of these waters.
Well, if you're not going to go get a job and basketball is what you're trying to do, then you need to make it your job. You need to be able to play twice, 3 times a day. It's just too competitive out there now, where you get out there and then you're not competitive. It's a job. Guys mistake that for. Just think about it. Did you see what Russell Wilson said the other day? He's now going to spend $1 million on his
body. Yes.
Because LeBron James has shown them what $1 million of taking care of your body would do. So, before it was unheard of to spend $1 million on your body to stay ahead of the game. But look what it has produced. And then that it generated the $1 million you spent made you another $70 million.
Right. Makes sense.
So, you train year round. That doesn't necessarily mean you play. Now, there are some pros who don't pick up the ball during the season,
You mean when the
but
season
they're
over?
really, really good. But they're really, really good. But you see no improvement to their game. Now, James, I will give James. James is out there. He had a lot of fun, but he works on his game. He adds something different to his game every year. There are a lot of guys that do that, but you can tell the pros who do it because you don't stay at that level with that commitment of scouting, watching you play, observing what you're doing. Every day I was telling a young lady's mom, she said to me, my son's ranked number one. I said, well, he's 6'9". Anybody 6'9", he's gonna be allowed to be late coming down the floor. He's all on potential. And I said, and when the kids in the 6th or 7th grade, he's not ranked very high because the little guards are ranked higher than him because they see the gift. But when it gets to high school, it flips. Because now size and height matters because you can always find a 5'9" guard. But
Yeah.
6'9" or 7-foot center's got to walk through your door.
That's a good point. I got a question from the Facebook feed.
But parents, before you go,
Okay,
parents
no.
miss the greatest thing to help them, especially parents who played the game of basketball. Find you somebody you trust and sit down. I have a hard time now because parents don't want to play for people whose sons play on the team they coach. Like, hey, you, it's almost like a curse.
Daddy ball. They call it daddy ball.
That's what they call it. They call it daddy ball. They ain't gonna play no more daddy ball. And I mean, the guy, you could have been 20 years doing it, 30 years doing it, but if your son involved, they think it's gonna be daddy ball. And you know what? There's some validity to it because at the end of the day, it's hard. You want to eat at home with your wife. And if your son ain't playing, she gonna beat you up.
Yes, sir.
She gonna beat you up. She gonna beat you up. And if you're not playing, your relatives gonna beat you up. Why are you doing this? And I know a lot of people who've almost lost their wives as AAU basketball, trying to fund programs to help people go places. And I'm telling you, it is like an aphrodisiac. And I don't understand it because at the end of the day, the parents make the decisions. But it's like, I don't get that talking to Cal, talking to Jimmy, talking to Hatter makes me feel like I got power. It's the damnest thing I won't tell y'all who. But I came to put my son on the team here, and I said, I've been a general manager, and I'm coaching in the NBA. And you know the guy told me, I gotta coach in my way. So I said, okay, well, let me come to your practice and watch your practice. And they didn't do a damn thing in practice. He just rolled the ball out, and I said, well, what do you mean? So people get confused sometimes, guys and parents, that because I drive your son to a tournament, no, you took him to the tournament. Let me say that again. Because I provided the vehicle for him to be seen, but I haven't thrown him one ball, I haven't worked on one shot, I haven't done any other work, you're claiming somebody that you provided a vehicle for them to see. Now, like with JL3, I work with a lot of our players that are in the program, so I've been with them. But I'm not just letting other guys that have done it just do it, because what I'm really providing is a vehicle for them to be seen. Make sense?
Yeah. I mean, and speaking of the vehicle, how do you had a question for Coach?
Yeah, I had a question for Coach. But Jimmy, did Coach get you? Because I know you were talking about the parents. Did he answer that good enough for you? Because we was talking about the parents.
He flew right in. That's good.
But Coach, they said ask Lucas if the NBA is too young for his liking, and can you truly prepare a high school player to play in the NBA right after his high school or 1 year of college or a year of college? Can you really truly prepare a kid coming out of high school for that NBA or a kid out of 1 year in college? Can you do that?
Very rarely. You remember one of the greatest players we honored this year who passed was Kobe Bryant. He
Yes,
didn't play many minutes his first year.
that's right.
LeBron James walked into a situation where he played a lot of minutes. There are a few. What I'm preparing you for is the G League or some form of revenue at an early age for you to be a hitter. See, to go to college is to create an opportunity to earn money. See,
Okay.
college was really set up for scholarships for guys to not have to have college debt and to be ahead of the game to get out of school.
Okay.
And that's what scholarship used to be. Now people are using those scholarships as 1 year of school, saying that I'm going out. But it was really set up for guys to have a chance to look forward at the end of 4 years, no debt, a degree, and a chance to move forward. That was what a scholarship was.
Okay.
Now people are now using it in a different way. What I can do, John Wall came out #1 pick. If I think a #1 kid playing freshman basketball is going to lead me to an NBA championship, I lost my mind. It's set up, and I probably shouldn't tell y'all this. The draft is set up is to only pay guys one max contract. So I get you out early. I get you out early only to see if you can play. If you can play, I'm going to stick a 4-year deal on you. So now you're at 20, now you're 24. By the time you're 30 year, you look like you got a chance. I'm going to extend you 3 more years, right? So now I extend you at the mid-level. I still ain't paid you a great amount of money yet, like I used to. But I extend you. Now you're 27 to 32. That's your basketball prime. I will pay you the maximum dollars now because that's your prime. And after 32, I'll look at it year to year because you can decline so quickly based on how much I used you, because I've got wear and tear on your legs and I want to see how quick you're losing it. So I always tell people the draft is set up to pay one time. So people got to know how good they are to position themselves or bet on yourself by taking 1-year contracts. House took a 1-year contract. I tried to get him to take a 3. He betted on himself. Went back to the G League, ended up getting $11 or $12 million, a 3-year deal. He betted on himself. So now his starting price when his contract ends year 2 will be about $4 million.
Right.
Still, I'm trying to tell him that's behind where he should have been if he had taken something less.
Yes, I see what you're saying.
So it's like anything. That's why it's important to get agents from people, because you can't trick 1,000 agents. The NBA has 1,000 agents. Did you ever think there was going to be a strike? I know you couldn't think that we were going to strike in a pandemic. They're already taking 30% of the salaries, and we're going to strike.
No, sir.
And the one thing I'm gonna tell y'all about players: don't ever trust players. Players, you can't trust them. People forget that because they get grown folks' salary, they forget their kids. You can never trust kids. I always tell. I remember Andre Miller. You all remember him?
Yeah.
I used to tell me, I said, Andre, hey coach, I pay for free. Well, then go sign your contract that's sitting there. Oh no, I can't do that. Then don't tell me you play for free. This whole thing, the only reason kids play, Jimmy, is about money. The only reason you're doing scouting reports and having tournaments is about generating some funds. Now, nothing wrong with that. It's about generating to give back, or what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
So this basketball thing is like I used to say with everything. When you can understand why you play, let me ask you all a question and ask your audience, and then I'm gonna have to go. All right, this is one of the first questions I ask people when they come in to interview them. So the 3 things I ask them. You smoke weed? They lie right off the bat. No, I don't smoke no weed. Okay, all right, whatever. All right, that's the first one. Second one is, you got any kids? They lie about that shit. And here's the third. Here's a big question. All right. You got to give me one answer out of these 4. Which would you rather have? An NBA scoring title, a Hall of Fame career, $100 million contract, NBA title.
I know what I want.
No, wait a minute. We sitting around a room full of scouts and stuff.
Yeah.
Give me your answer. Give me your answer first, Jimmy.
Me?
Yeah. He
Me?
want the championship. He want a championship.
Understand, if I've already
Just
had
answer
been
the
at
question.
Let's answer the question, man.
Just answer the question.
I'm gonna tell you, because with me it's different. I don't care about money like most people do.
I didn't ask no. Just ask, which one do you
But
want?
if I was inbred and it was raised in me to go get that title, then that title would be what I wanted. I would rather.
Drafting your ass.
Okay.
I'm not taking your ass. That's BS, Jimmy. What's your answer, Hatter?
The
No,
100 million,
I'm telling you.
coach. I want the 100
Thank
mil,
you,
coach.
Thank you.
I want the
thank
100
you.
mil.
No,
I see a lot
because
of-
remember now, Luke. Remember, I'm different. I'm cool with being hood rich. I ain't trying to go to Rivers. I ain't trying to live in Bel Air. I'm cool living in Rosewood in a flat.
Okay.
So
That's all, and guess what? Because when I go,
And
they don't have a parade down Homestead,
guess
down
what?
Rosewood.
And guess
Park.
what?
They all, I'm good with that.
And Jimmy, and that GM gonna send you right on out of there back to Rosewood. Say you
No,
take your
no.
ass on back to
No, no,
Rosewood.
no,
Guess what? And guess what? Guess what? They gonna love me forever. I'm gonna be the king of Zamunda in Rosewood.
Okay.
Well, let me tell you what, Jimmy.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Jimmy, it's a very valid point, Jimmy. But my point is, you've done all of this work for a parade in Homestead.
That's guess what? At my point, that's how I'm cut. That's all I live for.
That's what he valued.
Good.
That's what he valued.
Good. Well, I think that everything that people do in some form or fashion, unfortunately, is motivated about money. Every time a guy got drafted, you just watch the draft and the free agency that comes up on the 20. People are looking for one more dollar than what the guy got the year before. I never seen anybody say, I'm gonna take less money to be here.
Say it again, John. Take less money.
I never seen a guy say to be on the team, I'm gonna take less.
I know it,
money.
coach. I mean, Jimmy's just cut from a
Jimmy's
different
cut
color. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
But ho. So Jimmy, when we had the icebreaker, I'm gonna have a parade down Homestead instead of paying my fees to be in the icebreaker.
If a team ever came to me and did not have the funds to pay,
I didn't say that.
they will still get in the event.
I didn't say that.
So that means
What if I got the phone? What if I got the funds to pay and I still won't? Hold on. Not just me. I want all of my programs to get in free. And hold up. I like this other program.
And that's happened to several programs throughout the years. They know that's out there watching.
Okay, so then I'm gonna ask another program. Oh, come on, John. Come on.
The reason why I'm asking the question is, it's one of the reasons I don't charge at my gym anymore. One of the reasons is that before, when I used to, I was having certain people pay, and then the better kids could not pay. So people looking at me, well, why are they getting all the reps and getting to play, and they didn't pay to play in the gym? That's why people separate things out. So it's better to, for me, I like to pay for every event I go to, because then it's hard for me to ask you to pay if I ain't willing to pay. And so for me, that was one of the reasons because I can't be fair to you if you don't pay. And so that's why I said, yeah, those people that you give opportunities to. But my point was, I don't think anybody plays the game of basketball not to make money. That was my point. Look now, I give a good example in college. Why are they fighting so hard, Jimmy, for likeness? And people to be paid for their likeness. They want to be paid to play. If they would give the money back to school, why is everybody so upset the NC2A is making all this money?
Preach, Red.
And that's because of money. And they deserve.
Do you think when I wasn't getting the Rocket job, I wasn't looking for more money. You think I was gonna just be happy because I didn't get the job? Oh, I'm just happy because I'm just going back now. Hell out of here. It's gonna cost you.
Coach says it's gonna cost you.
And guess what, Jimmy? I don't need no parade down Bel Air. I can get my own parade coming down Bel Air.
Yes, sir.
And I'm definitely coming to your parade, and I'm gonna give you your flowers while you living. And we got just some may be artificial.
Understand, Luke. It's different when I say different in regards to me. What makes it different? Right now, I have no mom living, no dad living. I have no grandparents living on either side. Hold on. I have no biological kids that I gave birth to on the planet. So when I understand, so a dollar that's made.
You're putting a 50-year-old mind on a 22-year-old question. It's for a 22-year-old. It's not for all you've been through now. For me, if money would be the driving force now, but I got to know that player going to run my play when he come out the game. I got to know I can trust him late at night to carry his ass home and go to bed. And I got to know that when I ask him, did you beat that girl up before I cover your ass, you going to tell me the truth. So we don't both look stupid. So if you can't come clean about something like that for me, then how can I have your back about something like that on a 22-year-old? It's all about maturity. Because if he won't come in out here to talk to me, he didn't want me to, okay, I'm going to take you, but I'm going to make sure you don't get drafted. So I'm going to hide you in the draft so you don't get less money. What? It's not a 50-year-old mind on the question.
That's a great analogy.
22-year-old mind, because I'm looking for some honesty.
Gotcha.
I'm not looking for. I'm not.
But John, you didn't frame it like that.
You're answering it with all of the circumstances you got. I'm not talking about no circumstances.
Yeah.
I just said, what would you want to do if you got these four choices
at 22?
At 22 years old, you would.
That's the thing. That's why that was at 22. That's what I said. My initial answer was based on my my mind right now. And that's what I said. If that was what I was looking for, then at 22 years old, then I'm going to secure the bag.
Okay, so let me give you a guy who gave me a different answer. I probably shouldn't do this. I asked the same thing to Karan Butler. He got arrested for cocaine a couple of years ago. Remember that?
Yes, sir.
He came to me and said, "Coach, I just want a chance to have a quality life."
He had a hard life coming up, Coach. John.
And he walked me through everything he'd been through. That's the kind of guy I can fight for, Jimmy. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying. So with me, I'm not going to ask you, what are your weaknesses? I already know your weaknesses. Right. I need to improve it. I already know them answers. I give you another question. I got Kendrick Perkins, right? Was it Kendrick? Yeah, it was Kendrick Perkins. My daughter told me don't say names.
I know it. She's smart.
But Kendrick Perkins was working out, and he was going up to Boston. And he was going to meet Danny Ainge. No, it wasn't Kendrick. I don't remember who it was, but it wasn't Kendrick.
Okay.
But he was going up to meet with Danny Ainge. And I said, when you get up there, you're going to have to make Danny take his general manager's suit off and put his basketball uniform on if you want to be drafted by him. He said, well, what do you mean? I said, when he asks you, what are your weaknesses? Mm-hmm. I want you to do this. The kid's mom and dad looked at me like I lost their mind. I said, I want you to get up, walk over there in front of it, and put your finger on his chest and say, my only weakness is whether you got the balls to draft me. And go sit. And guess why I just told him to do that, Jimmy?
Why?
He's always a ball player first. And he wants somebody he know he can go to war with. And that boy just had the nerve to come over there and tell me in front of all these people.
Have I got the...
I had the balls to draft him.
That's a hell of a move, John. I ain't never heard that one. That's a hell of a move right there.
2003. Coach, what are your thoughts?
After they kicked him out the meeting, Jimmy. After they kicked him out the meeting, then they drafted
They
him.
still drafted him. Didn't they? They still drafted him, didn't they?
Out the meeting. Yeah, they didn't draft him, but after they kicked him out, they couldn't let him say that. I knew that.
Yeah.
But what the answer is, you gotta, people come see you and they forget you played. And we as former players always want some people who act like when we play, we still players first. It's real fun. I always fool with Jimmy. You know when Jimmy celebrated his birthday and doing that old bullshit dance with his little gun?
Yeah.
That's my jig right there, man.
That's what I'm saying. That's old school. Same thing with you. So that's what I'm saying. A lot of this is preparation and knowing who you're dealing with. Really important.
That's good.
Coach, just this past
now,
week.
Now, that doesn't work for everybody.
He said don't work for everybody.
No. Well, a lot of that now analytical people are now in charge. So now you can't go and say that to them because they, like the analytical people, don't think chemistry is important. They just think you should be able to play hard through everything.
That's awesome.
Because they don't have the lottery ship of being in a locker room where you travel, you go with somebody, you're with them. I try to tell people all the time, new coaches. I said, new coaches is like a new family. It's all about the trust you can get in your players. If your players trust you, where you can get from the living room to the bedroom with them to see all their dirty laundry, where they don't keep the room clean, then you have a chance to be successful because you all have a certain level of trust. So that was one reason they took away a lot of power from coaches in the NBA, because that kind of bond gave the coach too much power. Nowadays, the coach is more of an employee than the boss.
So that's what is meant, John, by this is a players' league?
Yeah, well, like now a lot of people have offense, defensive coordinators, and then player development and people. Then they have, it used to be Pat Riley ran his show. When I was in San Antonio, I ran the authority, the dictator. You couldn't make a trade without me. You couldn't do that. So the coach had power. Now the team, the general managers and those people have a lot more say than it was before.
Interesting.
Because it's more like football than it was before. It's like offense, you only concentrate on the offensive side of the ball. You only concentrate on the defensive side of the ball. And then, so therefore, you narrow it down to try to get better. So it really is no chemistry between the relationship, because then the guy coaches the game.
Wow. Jimmy?
And Coach, I want to ask you something. Folks do so. I want to invite you guys, if you're watching right now, welcome all the first-time viewers on the Chop Shop. Should be your midday sports happy hour, the best 120 minutes of your day. If you're on the Facebook feed, share the show right now to your timelines, to your hoop groups, to your friends, and we welcome you to our new page on the Facebook. If you're on the YouTube right now, give us a thumbs up if you will. We see you out there. I see you, Jeremy Davis, Herb Baker, Rick Timms. I see you, Derek Johnson and Jonas. I see Scholar Athletes is on there as well. And also we have Derek Johnson from over in Germany watching right now. Shout out over there across the pond and representing over in Germany. Also now, we have a couple of questions that people have posed to you or tossing to you from in the Boom Boom Room. And you see Odyssey is on there. Odyssey talking to you. Coach, you can see some of these questions yourself, but Coach don't have his goggles on.
He didn't put his goggles on. He didn't put his goggles on.
Okay, now we'll give it to
I'm reading some of them.
Coach.
I don't know what B. Scott thinks is dumb.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Yes, I see it right now. She's replying to somebody.
Oh, she's talking to somebody else. That's all.
She's talking to somebody. She didn't say she was talking to. Coach, you guys, the draft is next week.
Her son has gotten better.
And she said, really, that's dumb. Oh, she's talking to somebody else. She's talking to Odyssey.
And Herb has done a lot of good things with his first option program. He's doing good things. I know Herb forever. Right. And then a lot of guys I see, Slow Mo. and a lot of people on. You know, I really feel a big part of this grassroots basketball community to come
You
on your show.
you are John. John, I got some. They was saying who, like, I think people they were asking me about your JL3. Okay. Uh, and they would say who is in what positions in the organization, who is the head person in charge, who is director of recruiting, and etc. Is it something that you can say? Could you talk about?
Well, at the end of the day, it all comes back to
Do
me
you? Okay. Okay.
with that part of it. But Richard Law and Lupe Nunez running both of the areas of that. Courtney Brooks does a lot of our recruiting. And then we have our coaches that are there. Delilah Battle runs some of the younger kids stuff for us. And we have Marlon Lewis coached our 15s, there'll be 16s, and we're looking at other coaches and things that we're going to be doing. So yeah, we are, and Richard coached. So we are, and then I'm getting ready to add a program, Jimmy, for kids who finish the last year of 17s who may want to venture into either going to college, pros, or G League.
Say that one more time, John.
I'm looking at the end of the 17 seasons, people who want to make that jump for 2022 to be able to train, to be able to look to see if they can do that. They can have all options of all three. And I'm putting together whether that'll be school, homeschool, whether that'll be training twice or 3 years and funding the program are doing that. I've had a lot of agents approach me about it. I'm not doing it. I keep telling y'all, somebody from this city gonna be the face of basketball before I die.
You said it. You said it. You said it.
I hope I could find that kid that has that commitment, whether it's Houston, Dallas, or who really wants to be that committed.
And not just get to the NBA, y'all. He said the face of basketball. Because some people might say, well, no, the face of basketball. And John, and ever since you said that, I believe you me, I want to see that person too. I want to see it too.
So in the state of Texas, in the state of Texas, Coach, who would be the closest right now within the from the state of Texas that to meeting that mark?
I haven't seen everybody as much because of the summer, but from what I've looked at, the younger kids based on that year, I'll tell you who's got a chance. And I really don't want to tell him that because he's got to get his motor up. Is Lil Griggs. Lil Griggs has got a chance if he gets his motor up. I've had him playing against some of our pros a little bit, and his body size and that. He, right now when you say defense, he think the Army coming. So you can't guard a soul yet, but not a lot of young kids can. And then there's there's another young kid in Dallas that has a really chance. Another guard, you know who I'm talking about.
Keontae Jordan.
He can really shoot, and he has specifics that he can really shoot the ball right now at that level. There are some other people that may be ranked higher, but that's because they play harder and they really haven't got a set position. You know what I mean? It's one thing to be 6'6", 6'7". I'm not looking for the next Kobe. I'm looking for a shooter. I may be looking for a specific, but most people try to be one specific thing. Vincent out of there, but he's a year before that happens in that class draft. So, but the problem that those kids have is, do they have the mindset to sit a year or two while being paid to develop? So now here becomes the question, Jimmy. You all should talk about this sometime. Do I go for likeness and take college money, or take $250, or go to the G League and take $250 and have Brian Shaw and Rod Strickland and play with them and develop for a year? Or do I go to college for 6 months? Because that's what you're talking about now. Right. 6 months till the season ends and then come out.
Yeah, but coach, let's be real. In 2020, those kids that fit that equation to have that type of decision or the options in front of them, they're gonna get 250 at their college in 6 months.
Well, then that's a good choice. That's what I'm saying, the likeness. And then, let's not be silly. A lot of these guys are getting paid long before they get to college. Some people taking care of them bills long before they get to college. So going to college is just an avenue until the agents can really officially say they have them.
You know what, Coach?
I got one for you, Coach. Before you go there, Jimmy, hold that one. Let me hold it. Coach, do you think a kid like Bryce Griggs and Keontae George can play together on the same team in the summer? Could they coexist together?
I don't know. That's a good conversation because everybody's worried about their branding in the 11th grade. What kind of brand you got? You talking about, like I asked some kids the other day, right? My brand. What are you talking about? Your cereal? What kind of cereal you eat? What do you mean brand? What kind of brand can you have in the 11th grade?
Yeah.
Them guys give me. Well, this one kid got over 1 million hits.
Yeah.
Can he play? There's one question I want to know. Can he play? I don't care how much they got videos of him. Can he play?
I know you're talking about.
They were telling me about somebody. I said, I hadn't even heard of him. Can he play?
Wow.
And
go on, Jimmy. I'm sorry.
Now, Coach,
the question
next
is,
week,
can he play? And then the other part of your other question is, if you just think about this, if you're gonna go to the pros, you're gonna play with 12 other good players.
So okay.
You can't play with nobody good now, but you're gonna wait to play good because of your brand. Well, what brand are you gonna have when you think you're gonna have a brand with James Harden?
I got you.
You think if you go to the Lakers, you're gonna have a brand with LeBron James? I guess you could if you were with Clutch.
Oh my goodness, Jimmy.
I don't know what these young kids today don't want to play. They want their own show, and then they're gonna have to go to college and play with other really good players.
It's a great point there, John. That's a great point.
And then you're gonna go to the pros and play with even better players than that. My first year in the league, right? This is how they introduced me to the Rockets.
Hold on, Jim. Okay, I want you to make sure these people know you was the #1 pick in the draft. Now keep going.
My first pick in the draft, man. I came to the Rockets workout. I shot 10 shots. My coach made me shoot 10 shots with Calvin Murphy. He made 9 out of 10, and that rolled around. I made 5. He said, shoot with Rudy T. Rudy T banked in 7, and then hit net on the other 3. I made like 5. Mike Newland shot 10 free throws blindfolded and made 8 of them. I made 8 with both eyes. And the coach say, you beginning to know your role here? Your role is to get them the ball.
Oh, John.
I'm thinking I'm coming down here to be the man. And so guess what I did? I passed the ball, got 11. I held a record I got 3 times for 14 assists in a quarter. 3 times.
Yeah.
Because I found out my role, and then everybody got. I never dunked.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, you should.
I never dunked the ball.
Hold up, y'all. It was the #1 pick in the draft. Wow. Jimmy, you had a question for John, man.
Yeah. My question was, Coach, last week you guys decided that it was agreed upon from the Players Association and the NBA that you guys are going to start the season December the 22nd. Training camp is going to start like December the 1st now.
Yes. 9 o'clock.
What's your sentiment on that? And also your can you share with us your new position, your new title with the Rockets, and what will be your role different from last year to this year?
Jimmy, we were in the bubble 80 days.
Yes, sir.
80 days, same room.
80 days.
Room cleaned up every 3rd day. Ate the same meal every 3rd day. You could predict the meal. Went to the gym. Went back to your room. Then play your game. Back to the gym. 80 days. They had a test on the questionnaire every day. Do you need to talk to somebody? I came close to checking that button every day. Somebody come up here and talk to me. I'm lonely. I can't talk to nobody. And I'm tired of watching CNN. I'm tired. I saw the Martin series reruns all through those 80 days. Tough. 2 months later, the exact time frame, we're back in the gym. The players couldn't afford to lose any more money, 30% of their salary. And when the owners put out their $500 million lost in December, it was a wrap. You're not going to take any more money from the guys. That's all. My new title is no different than what I was doing before, Jim. My thing was called player development, but I was really more like the first assistant coach. I did a lot there with the Rockets when I was behind the scenes. Now I'm out in front. I'm gonna be lead assistant and the vice president of player development.
Okay. So you're on the front of the bench now? Cause
Yeah,
you
but see,
There you go.
here's the
you was
funny
really
thing about
always
that.
on the front, but you
Yeah,
like to
but
sit back there?
no, not at home because you sit sideways like at the movie theater. So, and you have to turn like you're doing a portrait picture. It's the worst
Yeah.
at
Right.
home.
Coach,
But for me,
behind the bench, you
but
get to use your cell phone. Behind the
Big
bench,
brother,
you get to use your cell phone. On the front of the bench, you
you're
can't
funny.
use your cell phone.
You're funny, Jimmy. You're funny. The other part of that is that I always tell people it's not your title that puts you in power. It's your quality of life that puts you there. One thing I'll never do is lie to a player. I'm not going to lie to you. We may disagree,
Right.
but I'm always try to come correct. And I can always talk about my experience. I can't share Jimmy's experience like Jimmy was sharing his experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Jimmy, I'm sharing my experience.
Right.
And I respect your experience. Same with you, Hal. I
Yeah.
respect your experience.
Yeah.
So it made it tough. So for me, the development, we have House, we have our young players. We got some issues to address when we get back to camp. But I think we got a chance to be great. And Stephen Silas, his dad and I played against each other. And it's ironic, his dad waited 17 years to get his coaching job.
Okay.
And Stephen gets his 17 years later out of being there. He's 47. I think he's going to do great for us. He's really a bright guy. He wants my input and help. I want to help him grow because I like to see people develop. I've been a coach. I've been a German. I've done it 3 times. I would have loved to have done it again just based on not rebuilding our team.
Right.
And not going based on it. But if we were going to have to rebuild and start over, then it might be time for changes. It looks that way, but I don't think it's that way.
Right. That's awesome, man.
I know one thing. I know you mentioned Mad Max earlier. I wonder what we're gonna get Mad Max on the next week or so, so we can get his thoughts on Jeff Hornacek being an assistant coach with the Houston Rockets.
When you get Mad Max on, ask Mad Max about how he and Kobe almost got in a fight when Kobe was a junior in high school with the Philadelphia 76ers. And Vernon called me that night. Now that reminds you, Vernon had just beat up Hornacek. Had just taken dumbbells to Carl Herrera.
Yep.
And Kobe about to fight this guy over 9 game point in a BS pickup game. That's the mindset, Jimmy, that it takes to be at that level.
Yeah.
Like I told some kids the other day, somebody said, well, he's a jerk. And I said, I don't know nobody that's great that ain't an asshole.
That's right.
Donald Trump had 70 million people vote for him.
Hey, John, Steve Jobs, they say he was an asshole.
The greatest thing he said that made me also think of my father, and I got to go. What he said?
What did he say?
He said, the greatest invention ever made was death. Man, that used to piss me off until I thought about it. He said, because you know what that means? Out with the old.
In with the new.
In with the new.
Okay.
That made a lot of sense to me.
That.
Jimmy, Hatter, there's always going to be somebody that follows us.
Yes, sir.
And what happens when people follow us is like I see my dad fighting for his freedom to stay free. Like he balled his fists up when I got to roll him over to change him. Like he's fighting for his last little bit of dignity.
Mm-hmm.
Embrace young competition. Teach them. Raise them.
Yeah.
Because the greatest gift you can leave is what you taught somebody. And nobody ever tells you they learned from it.
Right.
They did, because I don't, like Johnny McClendon started the fast break, all of that. I don't never give that. This is, I always tell you, don't get up out of this. This is my stuff. It ain't my stuff. I got it from somebody else. So whatever happens in this game, like basketball now, it's so many people doing basketball. Good. Welcome them.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome them. Just encourage that they do it right and give quality. And then try to tell them when they're not right. If they don't take your advice, they don't take it.
Right.
But it's better to do that. I got on a mother the other day because she was tweeting about something that somebody else said. And I told her, I said, you should be a role model. Your son's in college. You should be teaching them how to get there.
Mm.
Don't worry about what somebody else is saying. You don't have to speak for other parents. You teach. If you ain't got no haters, how you gonna get better? Oh, Jimmy, you look so nice today. Oh, Jimmy,
he loved that.
Oh,
yeah.
I want to give you all your flowers now.
Yeah.
Hate me because you're gonna keep me on my toes. I ain't sleeping on it.
One thing you mentioned about the deaf, and I want to know, can you, as we get ready to land the plane, two things. One, I want you to share your thoughts or your reflections on a guy that I know that you were close to, Chuck Jackson, who worked in the Rockets in the locker room for all those years. He passed away last week. Yeah.
I didn't know Chuck had been in our locker room since I've been there. This year he was really sick. You could tell he was sick. He sits in our locker room during the games. Always gives us 5 coming in and out. One of the best, Jimmy. One of the very, 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 very best.
Well, my thing is, I had 2 suggestions. Number one, if you could, and one is that maybe they can name that locker room and put a plate on there, maybe the door. It could be the Chuck Jackson door going into the locker room. You got to rename the Rockets locker room. That means to honor him for all of his dedication to this program. And also, Coach, the section, me and Hatter talked about it last week, in honor of BJ Johnson. Maybe the section where either the media or where the NBA scouts come and sit in the Toyota Center, can we motion to name that section after Brent BJ Johnson?
When we get off, Jimmy, text me that and I'll get both of those things done. Those are great ideas. I think that is really, 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 really sound. B, like I spoke at BJ's funeral and I said, BJ taught me about acceptance. 27 years as a scout, and he saw everybody around him move up, move ahead, and move out. And he was just as content being BJ Johnson as it was he's just a great gift. I miss that guy every day.
Me too.
Because he used to be in the gym. I miss BJ. That's why, I'm learning not to go to bed angry. Like when I didn't get this job, I what I had to tweet?
What?
Congratulations, Stephen Silas.
Yeah. We was mad too, Coach.
No, I mean, I wasn't mad because I didn't get it.
But we were.
But I'm just saying that I had to do that because, if you said that and all of a sudden you start thinking stupid. You start thinking about all the blessings you don't have instead of all the blessings you do have. And so sometimes with all of this stuff, sometimes with the basketball and all of this, we forget. But those 2 things are suggestions you said were very, very good suggestions. And the last thing I leave you 2 guys with, continue to educate, guys.
Yes, sir.
Continue to teach. It's real, real important. It's been real, real important that you continue to teach. And the other thing is, stay true.
Yes, sir.
And Jimmy, don't ever put that 50-year-old mind on a 22-year-old question. Take it in.
All right, Coach. Thank you, John.
Hey,
I love y'all.
Love you.
Love you.
I love you,
How
man.
you have, Coach? Hey, the
Unbelievable,
legend,
man.
John Lucas,
Unbelievable.
Coach John Lucas is with us. It's always great
Unbelievable.
combo when he comes in. And understand, guys, sorry we didn't get to a lot of your questions and talks to him. He was fun. Once Coach get to freestyling,
Yeah,
you don't
we gotta
stop
let
a
him go.
rapper.
Yeah, we gotta
You
let
don't
him go.
stop when they freestyle. Let the freestyle go. He's dropping
Jimmy.
bars. That's what we did on Chop Shop. But as you guys
I got a
remind
question
you,
for the Boom Boom Room, though, Jimmy.
what's
Didn't
that?
y'all learn something today? Man, hey, man, I'm over here. I can't wait to go back and see the show. I'm going back to see this show, Jimmy, because he just said some stuff and he was hitting me, and it seemed like he been reading my mail. And man, I understand, man, when to whom much is given, he said, that's why I go and get this information and come back and share with y'all. He said, teach the people. We got a responsibility, Jimmy. We don't know how long me and you gonna be here. We got to teach. That's why when I talk to these young people, if a young person who want to think about trying to do this, y'all email us. We offer internships all the time. Jimmy, we don't have certain deposits of the year. Man, we got to teach, but guess what, man? Jimmy, he said something key. But if you go follow in these footsteps, man, you got to do it with excellence. Go look at this show from 4 years ago and look at it now. Go look at the way Jimmy run his event 19 years ago and look at him now. To follow in these footsteps, man, you got to be really, ain't no shortcuts. You can't come in here trying to get a lick. This stuff has been tested and true. It just came from that guy. That's what he was telling y'all. So, Jimmy, every time I sit here and think about this chop shop and the time and the effort that we use and the resources that we use to put this show on, and we don't ask nobody for nothing. We don't ask you for love. We giving back to this community. And I know it's helping some people because I get the email. So thank you, John, man. John, I mean, it's just unbelievable that that this man just came in here and just said, okay. I can't wait. I promise you, I'm going back and watch it again, and I'm going to watch it on YouTube. I'm gonna watch it on YouTube. But Jimmy, if you want to end the show, did you want to?
I mean, what can you say after that?
Yeah,
great convo as always with Coach John Lucas. Want to give a shout out to Tavia Lucas, his daughter, for helping keeping everything, and she's the wind beneath the wings of the John Lucas Enterprises. And you guys never hardly see her, and she's rocking with it, and she keeps everything on point, and keeps John to whereas he can just ride the bike with no hands down the street in regard to going on through this thing. Also, guys,
Jimmy, a unique thing. I'm glad you mentioned Tavia because John was off doing something this morning. She the one did the sound check for him. So when John came, all John had to do was sign in. And she took out the time to do that, man. Shout out to Tavia and Miss Debbie too, because while she was doing that, Miss Debbie had the baby. So shout out to Miss Debbie too, Jimmy. So we can't.
Hey, Miss Debbie. Hey, Grandmama ain't got no problem calling the granddaughter.
I know.
For sure.
I know.
If that's the case, she wants Charlie to come and set something up every day. I'm telling you, that's shit. I'm watching Sandra with them grandboys. Good gracious.
Oh,
yes. I ain't even starting lineup no more.
Hold up, Jimmy. Hold up. No. Hold up. Over the years, you got an affection for the grandbabies now too. You used to be all, man. Now is, man, I got to go see my them little grandbabies. So don't just put it on Sandra. Don't just put it on you talking all that stuff. Yeah,
I'm talking about I ain't even starting lineup no more. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. But anyway, guys, thanks so much, man. It's time to land this plane. It's time to slide on down Dino's back and yabba dabba do.
Jimmy, look who just signed in and said he had to go back and watch it too. Hey, what you
shout out
call
to
Mike?
Smith.
What you call Mike? What you told the people when they
Icy
call
Mike.
Mike? Icy Mike.
Icy Mike. Icy Mike. We'll talk more about Icy Mike on tomorrow. And you guys, and don't forget, tomorrow we have special guests. We got Naya,
There you go.
right,
Naya.
and Rashid
Yeah.
from the show
Ready to love.
Ready to Love.
Yeah, that should
And
be unique.
the reality show.
Yeah.
So they'll be on, and you know it's gonna be on and popping. For many of you guys may not remember Rashid Floyd. He was the head high school basketball coach
right.
at Klein. I want to say Klein Collins or Klein Oak.
Yeah, he was.
It was one of those.
Yeah.
Klein Oak or Klein Collins. About maybe about 12 years ago. He was the head men's boys basketball coach.
That's right. That's
there.
right.
So many guys in the basketball community, and I wrote an article about one of his players who they say would never play basketball again, and he got a scholarship, and ended up had an ailment, and we'll talk more about that on the show tomorrow. All that. But anyway, guys, thanks so much. If on your way out, please do be so kind to like and follow our Facebook page. If you, especially a lot of you guys that didn't know where we had relocated our new Facebook page, like and follow us. That way you can get the daily alert when we come on the air. We broadcast from 12 to 2 Central Time, Monday through Thursday on the Chop Shop. Indeed, we are your midday sports happy hour. Best 120 minutes of your day.
Jimmy, don't forget to tell them to go over to YouTube also. And
subscribe. And like us on YouTube.
Be intentional about subscribing on YouTube. Intentional. I mean, go out of your way. Daryl Anderson, Jess McKee, Ricky Scott. Go get it. Tell a friend. Tell another friend. Tell them. Text them. And just tell them about. Let's be intentional about subscribing to the YouTube page. It's very important because we're gonna try to bring y'all some stuff in the future. We're gonna need to get those impressions up. But thank y'all so much. And Jimmy. Yeah.
And we'll leave you guys with this. Don't forget next year. Of course, in March, the Spring Icebreaker. March the 19th through the 21st. We're giving out $11,000. It was 10. I add another 1,000 to it. I add another band like the youngsters.
Well, hold up, no, but you're talking crazy to me when I said, Jimmy, do this and do it. Man, let me go. But now you're the winner and add some more money. Oh my God.
Add more money to it. And it might be over 20,000 before I even do this event. I'm gonna make it rain on the 20th anniversary. Remember, because I may do girls, and if we're doing girls, then I'm gonna add thousands for each one of those girls division that week. So it may be over 20 grand. That one thing about it. One thing I strive to do. I strive to do stuff and innovate and do stuff that hadn't been done before. That floats my boat. Put that on my tombstone, and it'll be a long stuff. Once again, remember now, guys, I'm writing my own eulogy. So all the preacher got to do is just read it off. He can preach a sermon after that, but I'm writing my own eulogy, and I'm gonna give some real thoughts. They're going to read it off during the funeral about some choice words toward a lot of people ass. Because know why? It ain't never been done before at a funeral that I know that I've been to. I'm gonna let some people ass have it.
And guess what? I'm gonna make sure Baller TV is broadcasting.
No. Ball TV has. They know.
That's why I said it. That's why I said it. But that's good, man. And let's make it happen with the girls then. What's the problem? Let's make it happen.
I mean, if it has enough teams, then we do depend on the age group. So we don't know. But if I do whatever age divisions that is done in girls, I'm thinking 8th grade on up. Then we give $1,000 to each one of them. I don't have no problem with that. That's the whole thing. So it means if you're paying attention, then if I'm trying to keep the money, then why would I be trying so hard to give it away?
Okay.
Everybody ain't cut from that cloth.
Okay.
I was cut from the cloth that if you give I look at it as this basketball, the portion of the basketball community, I look at it as tithing. Just like you go Sunday and you go to tithe over there, I'm gonna tithe through the basketball community. I'm gonna give away back to school drives. I'm gonna give away clothes. I just got a garbage bag full with t-shirts and stuff right here to go hand out. Some people going down to City Hall to give away clothes to the homeless tomorrow. The bag is right there. That's part of my personal tithe. So that's what I do. So it ain't about the other stuff. Remember, perfection is no longer attained when you can no longer add, but only when you can no longer take away. I'll leave you, let that soak in, and we'll see you guys in 22 hours. What a great day, man. Chop shop, man. This is a classic right here, baby.
It's classic.
Share
I go back and watch it right now. Yeah, for real.
Peace. We up out of here.
Yeah.
Jim Hicks, Rob Hatter, you are now tuned in to the Chop Shop. I'm Retro, let's get it. We in the Chop Shop, we live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk, we live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop, I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up, it's live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop, we live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk, we live in the Chop Shop.